expensive. The box is sometimes you get in toys that are just too expensive probably to let your kids play with. These are better made for display, especially if you're a fan or you really want the big one, or maybe nostalgic about the G.I. Joes you used to have. We'll go over those in a second. The first thing I have here is a sprint car. This is 1/18 scale. That means if you took 18 of these, it would equal the real size. This is Dave Blaney. He was a famous, and he's semi-retired, sprint car driver. Sprint car, they race on dirt tracks. They are open wheel. If you hear open wheel, you see there's nothing around the wheel there. It's open wheel. And they go around. These are for the wind. See, this comes off. This is Vivitar number 10, Goodyear. This is a very intricate toy. These are not stickers. They are printed on there. There are all his sponsors. Now, Dave also did move up to NASCAR. He did race in the NASCAR series, but he's probably most famous here in Ohio. He's very famous because he lives here in Ohio, I believe. They race these cars, and you see all the sponsors here. And the details that they have on these particular vehicles are almost to scale. You're sitting there, and it's open wheel, and it's also open air. And these are dirt tracks, and a lot of the guys that presently race did get their start in here, and they do like sprint car racing because it is pretty fun to watch. It's pretty fun to go to, and they're a lot more local. There's local tracks, local dirt tracks that you can go to. But this particular thing, Dave Blaney, this is a collectible thing, especially for sprint car and Dave Blaney fans. And I know he lives here in Ohio, so he's also an Ohio fan. There's only one of 3,500. There's not a lot of collectors on these, so you do have a pretty significant, rare car, one of 3,500. I'm sure a couple of kids got these out, played with these, lost this. This also comes off, lost that as well. So these are things that you want to take your time looking up things, and you want to take your time when you buy something, because you never know. Now, this came in the store, and I didn't think to really thought this was worth hardly anything, because I'm not familiar with Barago. I am familiar with the Lamborghini, because any kid who's ever turned 16 or a young man has wanted one of these. They've seen these. They've got the cool doors. But this one is 1/18 scale as well. It's from 1988. This particular company makes, I haven't taken this out of the box. It's still in the box, so it does increase the value. This is something that someone maybe is a fan of this. This is the closest most of us are going to get to this vehicle, because it's extremely expensive. The box is... Well, I'm back. Yes, I just gave you an example why you don't let kids play with these toys. This part did break off. Luckily, a lot of this is metal. It did survive. Sprint cars do crash, but not by rolling them off the table. So I am a little disappointed, but I thought I'd show you. Oh, I almost did it again. I'm just going to go put this away, and we'll talk about the rest of the stuff. All right, back with the Lamborghini. This is 1/18 scale. I'm going to make sure I'm not going to take it off out of the box so it doesn't roll off, so I don't break it. Anyway, this did come in today. This is something, of course, it's metal with plastic parts, as we can see on that other thing. This box is in really nice condition, and it even says here, not suitable for children or 3. If you're 3, you can play with it. But these particular items, I was kind of shocked when I looked these up. Some of these have sold for as high as $80. $80. Or how much gas you'd put in this for probably not going very far. These G.I. Joes are more historical. These are Omaha Beach Army Infantry. Of course, it's the D-Day collection. You can see that these are soldiers that stormed the beaches of Omaha Beach. They fought. They had huge resistance. There was a lot of lives lost. The world would be a different place if these guys didn't succeed. This is the 29th Division. You can see they're called the blue and the gray. And, of course, this is the big red one. 1st Division there. These soldiers are dressed in the outfits that they stormed on Normandy. This particular division lost 95% of its officers at that beach. But they persevered, they won the war, and the world was a better place. So anyway, these are action figures. They're exactly posable. They're a little bit better than your regular G.I. Joes. You can see what they come with. There's different ones that you can collect. This is the Army infantry soldier, of course. Tells a little bit about them. There's there's the 3 divisions there. They also have some other historical figures like the Army Rangers, who also were at D-Day, the Royal Marine Commando, the British, and that's it's Ernie Pyle. Ernie Pyle was a correspondent. He embedded himself with the troops. He ate with them. He lived with them. He dove for cover with them, and he wrote to people back home. He was really the lifeline to a lot of people back home, back in World War II. Army correspondent. So these guys are very cool, very collectible, and these particular figures, you can probably get $30 a piece for them, but they're historical. They're actually things you can talk about. You can relate them to different things as well. Now, one of the other historical collections, this is a G.I. Joe of Congressional Medal of Honor winner, Audie Murphy. Audie Murphy was probably the most decorated soldier in World War II. Now, he has kind of a tragic story. His dad was not really involved with his life, and his mom died when he was 16. Audie Murphy dropped out of school in the 5th grade and went to pick cotton in Texas for $1 a day. $1 a day. He tried to get in the Army before he was actually old enough. He was rejected 3 times. He eventually let him in because he was too small. And he actually held off a whole German division by himself there with the machine gun. After he was wounded, he became actually a movie star after that. He was probably one of the most famous guys. You can see him in a lot of movies, and he even did a movie of his own life. But he is a Medal of Honor recipient. You can see here. They saluted him. There's different ones with the G.I. Joes. They're appealing to people, historical as well as military people as well. You can add, there's Congressional Medal. There's also, you're going to have one from the Vietnam War that you can get. But Audie Murphy, a little interesting thing about Audie Murphy, he was not only a hero, he did tragically die in a plane crash in 1971. He wasn't that old. And he refused to be in any cigarette or alcohol commercials because he thought it would look bad. So he knew who he was. He knew he was a hero. He was a beloved guy. And Audie Murphy, sadly, he's not with us. He died in 1971. But these are kind of historical pieces that are cool to have, cool to talk about. And they're more for the adult collector, I would say. So I appreciate you watching today. Appreciate you going through a little history lesson. Sorry I broke something, but that happens. And this you could have for about $80, and it's probably the closest any of us are going to get to it. So if you would, like, subscribe. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.